Friends, hello, what a day. Third day in a row, let's do a Trump dance. There we go. I think we can all say that when SoundHound here did what it did today, we were all doing this face right here. I think it's pretty obvious that's what we were doing. Like, this is just ridiculous. So last night, I made a video and SoundHound was one of the topics I was talking about, and I said, hey, I think SoundHound here is going to $15, and it's going to be a road to $20 here later in the year. But when I said $15, I didn't mean like literally 12 hours after that video came out that, you know, SoundHound here would essentially almost walk to $15. So, wow, what are the odds here? Now, obviously, with this complicated chart that I have up right now, we will break this down. I know this is some Goodwill Hunting looking stuff here, but we'll break that down in a minute. But let's go right into let's go right into SoundHound here, because I just talked about SoundHound, so I don't want to talk too much more about SoundHound. But the obvious elephant in the room right now is that SoundHound had the best day it's ever had on the market. I mean, it was pure run, pure push. And this is what's going on right now. Literally the same thing I said last night before SoundHound hit these big double-digit numbers. SoundHound is in a situation, it's in a zeitgeist movement right now where investors are looking for opportunity going in 2025 with AI stocks. But on top of that too, you know, that SoundHound here is capturing big deals. You know, they've got a lot of big things happening here with these car companies are getting. They had the big deal in France. Their quarterlies are getting a lot better, a lot thicker here. Next year, we're expected to double, maybe triple revenue. And there's still stuff down the pipeline that we may not even know about yet with SoundHound. Not to mention that NVIDIA just doubled for the second time this year their investment in SoundHound here. So there's a lot of positive news right now with SoundHound compared to negative. Now, when we talk about SoundHound, because there's always that negative person, that's fine. This is a double-edged sword video conversation. Listen, yeah, does SoundHound have debt? Absolutely. SoundHound is not a debt-free company. And, you know, SoundHound is not releasing like Palantir NVIDIA quarterlies here. I mean, it's not that kind of company right now. We hope within the next 3 to 5 years, yeah, SoundHound's, you know, in this, you know, $1 billion quarterly conversation. But we're away from that right now. Right now, what we're talking about with SoundHound here. So let me bring up this. Let me bring up this chart right here so everyone can see. Obviously, I'm going to talk about BBAI here, and I'm going to explain what we're talking about here. But you know, looking at AI stocks right now, everyone's looking for AI plays. AI plays are picking up. They've been picking up. They're doing really good. This is, you know, this is a really hot topic right now. So you've got, you know, we can put Microsoft in here. We can put Meta. We can put Tesla. You know, I just put these two right here. You know, NVIDIA and Palantir. NVIDIA, Palantir, solid plays. I mean, these are stocks that are going to go well into the 2025, well into the future, and they're going to have massive opportunity and run, and probably there will be more than likely with both these stock splits in the future, even with NVIDIA once again. Now, when we go to this middle column here where we have the face going, I told you this is a very complicated chart here, okay? Stick with me. Very complicated. Listen, I have dyslexia. This is the best way I can break this down. So you've got here's two stocks. Here's APLD, another little AI company that's doing very well. I won't talk about that too much more. I'm going to make another video about that. But SoundHound here is in that middle grade category right now where, you know, SoundHound is not a Palantir. It's not an NVIDIA. But it's chipping away at that debt. It's grabbing bigger, more attractive deals to where bigger investors, besides just the blue-collar investor, the retail investor like me, you, most of us that can buy, you know, maybe $20, $50, $100, maybe $500 on a good week of SoundHound stock here, we're going to be getting into a conversation where big investors come in here. Maybe someone like Kathy Woods, maybe some, you know, investment firm steps in here and they go, you know what, we really like what SoundHound's doing here and what's going on here. We are going to invest X amount of money. These are situations that will probably start to happen here coming into 2025. I guarantee that. What's that going to do? That's going to drive up the price. Not to mention, it's just going to get SoundHound more in the conversation of zeitgeist with AI stocks and what's going on there. So I fully expect that SoundHound here, and like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on because I've yapped about it so much last night. What happened today was a firm indication in a check mark that SoundHound here is going to do big numbers into 2025. I said this 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I'm going to say it right now. Again, SoundHound is going to be the dark horse of 2025. It is going to come out of nowhere, and it's going to take some top positions going into 2025, ending that year. I guarantee you that SoundHound is going to make people extremely rich this coming year. Okay, now with that conversation, when we talk about short term here, listen, I don't want to say that SoundHound's not going to go to $20 sooner than we think. Now, obviously, the investor in me that's been in the market for a long time here is going, yeah, SoundHound's probably going to pull back. And I suspect SoundHound will pull back to a position here. Last time SoundHound had a huge push up here to $9, it pushed down to $6. But when we hit that $6, and this is just 2 weeks ago, SoundHound now shot up to almost $14. Okay, we're talking a huge bump, okay? Now, obviously, I think a lot of people might agree with this. SoundHound should sell off a little bit here. I wouldn't mind SoundHound to sell off here, because SoundHound now is proving, hey, we're going somewhere. SoundHound is going to run here. We're going to be fine. If you can get into SoundHound here 10 and under, you're going to have a spectacular future. But I do want to say this, because I know there's people that are going to come in here and say SoundHound it's overvalued. It's not going to go anymore. I get that conversation. I get the debt. I get, not enough deals, that kind of stuff. They are one of the top companies doing what they're doing with this AI audio right now. And this is going to be a fast growing element into 2025 and beyond with AI conversation, okay? SoundHound has already got investor trust. It's already captured the zeitgeist. It's got FOMO around it. It's going to continue to do really good deals. We're expecting the next quarterly to be at least positive. That's really all we're asking for at this point, just to be positive. But if they keep capturing these deals, they're going to have the biggest quarterly they've ever had, which what will happen, we'll see like a Palantir situation where it will shoot up to $10 to $15 more. And that could be the $20 mark here. Now, their next earnings will not be for a minute here, but we're getting into some situations here with SoundHound where SoundHound is going to get very expensive very fast. Like I said, I would expect tomorrow to have some pullback because we've had so much push up. So, if you're looking, and I say that because there's people here going like, well, should I buy in? Should I buy in right now? If you're holding for a long term, do whatever, obviously. But if you're wanting the best, cheapest price at this moment and you only have X amount of money to do this with, obviously, yeah, I think SoundHound more than likely, here's my Jim Cramer, the opposite will happen now. I suspect SoundHound will pull back to an easy $11 to $10. But this is where I'm really curious as an investor right now. What's going to be the bottom now for SoundHound? 3 weeks ago, the bottom for SoundHound was $6 to $8, and I thought that was expensive. Okay, you got to think. I was here. I think a lot of us were here 4 or 5 months ago buying SoundHound at $3 to $4, and we were like, "Whoa, that's amazing!" Because before that, SoundHound was, we were buying it at $2 to $3. Okay, I fully expect this situation to continue to grow. I think we're going to have mass push, mass sell, mass push, sell, push, sell, push, up. But that's how this conversation is going to continue, okay? SoundHound is going to be a force to reckon with in 2025. It's going to be the dark horse. I guarantee you. I do want to talk about BBAI, okay? BBAI had a good day. This stock had a good day. Now, obviously, this is where I really have to break down the stock, because people, this is one of the most loved and hated stocks and biggest when it comes to people commenting, and I don't mind people commenting, but I think comments are good. I try to respond to them, but I just I get what people are saying when they say that no one should put their money in the stock right now, okay? But I said this last night. I think I said this last night. I've started a position in BBAI, okay? So I'm going to probably, every time I see a sell-off, I'm going to put an X amount of money in the stock till I'm going to try to build up, a decent amount of shares in this going through, the next 6 months. Personally, right now, I don't expect this stock to go over $5 within the next 4 months from where we are right now, okay? Here's the bad, here's the good, here's the bad with this stock, okay? First of all, the bad situation is, let's talk about that. The company has a lot of debt. Good debt, bad debt, it's debt. They've got a lot of debt to pay off. They only have so much cash on hand, okay? They don't have a lot of big contracts. They're a very new company. They have partnered with Palantir here in the past, okay? There is friendship. There is similar business ethics, what they do, bread and butter, okay? Now, obviously, this is not Palantir. So, like, if you're like saying like I did not just say like this is the next Palantir, so like do not run with that conversation. I'm putting money in this, but this is a risky play, okay? Because right now, I am literally trying to get into a company, into an AI company that is essentially has more bad news than good news wrapped around it when it comes to investor relationship, because the company has a lot of debt. They don't have a lot of big deals. They still have a lot to prove. But here's the good thing, what I'm trying to rely on, okay? Obviously, number one, I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a huge risk right now, okay? I admit that, okay? So please understand, if you're putting $5 in this to $500, this is, we're relying on the company right now, okay? No, I think the stock's going to do good just on some FOMO and stuff here. We could probably see within the next 6 months, if things keep going well in the market in AI stocks, I could see this going to $4 to $5 easily, and then having some sell off to $3. I don't think that's too crazy, okay? But where I'm really looking for big money, big movement here, I'm looking for them to capture more government contracts. I'm looking for them to capture just bigger contracts in general, okay? This is still, and going back to my very complicated chart here, you're looking at a baby AI stock right now, okay? Essentially, that's what you're looking at. It's a big company, don't get me wrong, but essentially what we're looking at right now, it's a baby company compared to when we're talking about NVIDIA, Palantir, APLD, SoundHound. I mean, you know, very young in where it's at right now, okay? Has a lot to prove. But that's what's so appetizing about it, is that it leaves a lot to come. So listen, if you have money to put somewhere, if you like risk, you like taking a chance, this may be for you. This may be something for you. I cannot guarantee you, nor did I guarantee anything, but I can't guarantee my own safety going into 2025 that BBAI is going to bring good results, okay? I just like anybody else here that's putting money in the stock right now, we are relying on the company heavily to get more deals, to push numbers, to start to, like, essentially, as boring as this sounds, my biggest hope for 2025 with BigBear.ai here is that they chip off at least 2/3 of their debt. That's literally what I can hope for, and maybe the stock can get to a place where it holds a $4 to $5 position. If we made it this time next year in BigBear.ai, BBAI here, had achieved that, that would be a win. That would be a success. That's why I'm trying to build, I think a lot of us are trying to build a position in right now to where, you know, 6 months from now, we could see some nicer numbers. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here in a nutshell. Okay, so I hope, you know, I hope that was good enough of a double-edged sword. You know, I never want to be just, there's some things, yeah, I'm just drinking the juice on, like, you know, I'm about to talk about Palantir, but that are just going to continue to do well, and that I don't have a lot of negative things to say. But I do want to be honest about BBAI. It's a risk, 100%. Okay. I think the company will do well. I think if they can continue to do what they're doing, and I think what they do is going to be big into the next 5 years, okay? I think AI stocks I don't even think AI stocks have tapped into the trillions of dollars that are coming in the market here in the next 5 years. So, if anything, BBAI, Big Bear here, could just simply capture some heat. It could capture some FOMO, and it could run to some nice numbers here in the future. And getting in so low now, if I see bad situations later down the road, I could leave with all my money and maybe some profit, okay? So hopefully that helps with where I'm at mentally with BBAI here, okay? All right, to wrap it all up here, Palantir, the big boy, new daddy, king of the castle, in the throne seat right now, right next to NVIDIA. That's moving up, the son of NVIDIA, essentially, when it comes to growth, pricing, everything. It's going to be $100 stock soon. I mean, there's just no argument around that. One thing's funny, I've been talking about Palantir since it was a $15 stock, I think. Somewhere, and that wasn't long. That was just like, what was that, last year? Like 2 years ago, something like that. But, I haven't heard too many people have doubts about Palantir, essentially, since we were at the $30, $40 range, okay? Up until that point, it was just constantly like, it's going back to 7, it's going back to 10, it's going back to 15. And, I was like, what are we talking about here? Have you not seen the numbers that this company is producing? Not to mention what's coming down the road. And you have to take chance somewhere, you have to take chance. So Palantir, to me, is the opportunity of a lifetime right now. The fact we're going to be begging that we could have bought Palantir under $100 here within no time. Do you realize right now, if you look at this stock, what it has done in just the last months, okay? When we look at Palantir right now, let's just look at this, even this 6-month chart right now. Let's just go back to November, okay? Since November, beginning of November, we went from 40 to 50, not long, to 60. Now we're at 70 and some change. We have captured, just in the past, what is that, 30 days? Essentially $20, okay? Well, no, that's 30 bucks. That's 40, 56. Yeah, that's 30 bucks. Okay, a little more than that. Before that, when we go back to September, right before September, we were at 30, 35, 38, 40s. Had to sell off to, just really 41. If this is the progression of this stock, which it looks like it's going to be, because when the last quarterlies come out here to wrap up 2025, which I think they come out in January, if I remember correctly, maybe February. I think we can all agree and suspect that these earnings will be even bigger than the last earnings they have, which were their biggest earnings, okay? And on top of that, we can expect really big things going in 2025, because with Trump coming into office, it's almost cheating. It's almost cheating at this point, because not only does the people in Trump's cabinet, they are close, have relationships with Palantir, but on top of that, what do we know about the last time Trump was in office? He spends a load of money on defense, okay? What does Palantir have the biggest contracts in right now? Defense with United States. So we can only expect those, A, boring, just to keep going, so that's just money in the bank, B, to get even bigger and continue, and C, all the above plus things we can't even fathom right now, okay? Probably all those are very possible situations, okay? So I think we're gonna be in a situation, listen, I think a lot of people at this point would consider it a blessing if Palantir sold off to even $60, as crazy as that sounds. Palantir, it's on S&P, Dow, obviously, NASDAQ now, it just went on the NASDAQ. This is why it's growing once again. If Alex Karp comes out and gives a new interview at this point and starts leaving more breadcrumbs going into 2025, do not be shocked, and he just does that randomly. Do not be shocked to see Palantir here go to 80, 85. And we are in January, I guarantee you January, towards the end of January, is going to be huge in the market. Wells Fargo just came out with a huge statement, their analysts, and they said that the S&P 500 in 2025 here will break over 7,000 and some change. They said they suspect that 2025 will be the biggest year for investors and in the market. Okay? And that is a completely different conversation than what was going on 4 to 5 months ago, okay? Like 4 to 5 months ago, we were talking about the end of times, okay? Now we're talking about everyone's, sipping on their drinks here and going on vacation. So it's completely different tone right now, what is going on in this market, okay? This is a radical time, life-changing time to be a part of this market. So friends, like I said, I don't want to yap too much, but listen, Palantir, I still think Palantir is completely cheap to where it's going to be, 6 months from now. SoundHound, there's so much that's going to be happening with that company. I'm telling you. Listen, SoundHound, we can only hope that it sells off, okay? If SoundHound sells off under $10, consider it a blessing, okay? But look at this as like, this is the start of something. This is the start of something. And if SoundHound comes out with banging quarterlies here, this next earnings, it's on, baby. It's on. BBAI, we're watching it. We're going to see what happens. If this stock could capture a $5, and listen, I'm shooting low here. I'm shooting low. I know a lot of you are going to come back at me and say it's going to 10. Great. I hope it does. There's still a lot of things that need to be worked on with this company and things that could come. It's a very, very lucrative business that they have. It's just if they can capture more deals, start to pay off debt, really expand, and maybe even grow partnerships with these other big AI companies. So that would be a big thing too. Friends, I wish all of you best of luck. Tomorrow's Friday, last day in the stock market, and thank you all so much for the gifts, for the comments. Thank you all so much. I'm so entertained by this market. I love investing, man. We are such in a golden opportunity right now with investing. It is wild out there. I mean, if you got $5, you can turn into $7 real quick in this market. It doesn't take long with what's going on here, friends. I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.